What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Truck Parking Clubhouse. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend out there and absolutely crushing it. And you're staying safe. Before we get rolling, do want to let you know, as always, Monday night, the Taillights newsletter is in your inbox right now. Right now, it's in there. You can go check it out. This week, we kind of covered what is going on with a huge announcement from the DOT Secretary, Sean Duffy, over the weekend with what's going on with non-domiciled CDLs. So we kind of cover some of that information. And then we also cover some information with some other stuff that the admin wants to do, which includes some tariffs that they want to make happen, that the president wants to make happen on big truck manufacturers. So I'd love your feedback on it. Again, my contact information is on there. I'd love some driver feedback on how you feel about the announcement of non-domiciled CDLs from the DOT secretary and what tariffs would look like on trucks. I'd love to start incorporating driver feedback, driver content within the newsletter. And that's another open call out in itself is, news within this industry. I think a lot of this news, Taillights is a driver focused newsletter, as opposed to other trucking newsletters out there that you might see, many of which are focused on brokerage and everything. And I like to try to keep Taillights very, very focused for information drivers would want to talk about. I add some excerpts in from old editions of Taillights from the 60s and 70s and there for a little blast of the past. Also within the newsletter this week, we've been running it for a couple of weeks, but we have a video ask in there. And if you click the link in the newsletter for a video ask, if you record a video response to the question asked in the video, we churn you out a $25 promo code to give you $25 off some truck parking. We have another partner a code in there as well. So definitely go check it out. It's in your inbox. Might need to check your spam folder. A lot of hot information. And if you are tuning in live, no matter where you're at, feel free to join the conversation. Jump in here, whether on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever. But without any further delay, I want to bring this week's partner and guest up into the clubhouse. My guy, Truckin' with Rich. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, nothing much. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for jumping on the clubhouse with us this Monday night. Where are you tuning in from?
I am in Wildwood, Florida right now at the TA. So hopefully I am not too bad on reception because I am on about 1 to 2 bars at the moment.
Yeah, no, you're coming in loud and clear on my end. So that's good. So you found some safe parking for tonight. And I'm not gonna lie. So you just pulled in there to park, and you didn't have any. So the TA wasn't full tonight.
Surprisingly, it was not, and I was nervous because usually every time been here, I don't come to Florida often, but every time I've come, it was pretty packed. But there's actually a lot of parking back in on the back road tonight.
There you go. Perfect. So drivers, if you're tuning in, you know that at a Monday night you're in the Eastern time zone. So at 8:48 or 8:30ish on a Monday evening at the TA in Wildwood, you might get lucky to find a parking spot. That's always good intel to get out there. But I mean, let's break right into it. I'd love to. I know you and I met at the Mid America Truck Show, but I'd love to kind of hear your story. How did you? What got you into the trucking industry?
Friends and family, honestly. My dad um, was kind of all around with trucking. He did construction, a lot of dump trucks and everything, and did big rigs a little bit, but mainly, dump trucks and stuff. And then I had a lot of friends getting into um, just, regular trucking. And I actually came in as a flatbed driver, so I wanted to be a little bit different. Um, and I loved it. I mean, I still love it to this day.
No, that's awesome, man. So how many years you've been and you're over the road now, because you're at a TA, but how many years you been
Yes.
in?
Since 2017. So I think that's where we at 8 years, I believe.
A
I
year. So
think,
yeah,
or
so you
almost 8.
yeah, about 8 years, 2017 coming up on it. We're almost at the end of 2025 as it is. So 2017 you get in. So what were you doing right before you got your CDL? What were you doing right before you got involved?
Dock worker. Um, at actually at a Volvo truck warehouse. So um, I was. I worked there full time, and then I worked at Estes part time on the dock as well. So that's all I was doing. Just,
Okay, so that's actually similar to what lured me over the road was I was on the other side of the loading dock as well, and I mean I always like to ask. So I mean I know your father was involved. You had some friends who had also got involved. But when you were working in the warehouse, was there a conversation you had with a driver or like an aha moment where you're like, all right, you know what? It's my time. I'm going to get my CDL. Or was it just like, or was that the plan the whole time? I'm always curious to hear kind of like what the defining moment what you were like, that's it. I'm going trucking.
it definitely was not the whole time. Um, that it was not, because friends first started doing it. I was like, y'all have that. I'm gonna do it. But I seen, he was making decent money. I did at that point start talking to a few drivers that come in on the docks, get paperwork and stuff like that. And yeah, that kind of was an aha moment for me. Like, after talking to the drivers coming in on the docks, and then just talking to my friend over time and seeing, how he was transitioning through everything. Um, because of course I was looking at it as when you first get out there, you're over the road. You pretty much got to do what you got to do to get it. And then he transitioned over into the LTL side, and I was like, that doesn't look too bad. And I did that for a while. I started out flatbed, and then I went LTL with FedEx Ground doing teams, and then after that, Landstar for a little bit, and then I went to Southeastern Freight when did LTL. But now I got my own truck, and I'm back over the road.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you where's home base for you?
Dallas.
Okay, so DFW, awesome. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
next time you're through there, or next time number one, if you're ever down through Central Texas on 35, make sure you give me a shout. And that's any driver out
Okay.
there driving around. If you're ever through Central Texas, down 35 in the Austin area, feel free to shoot me a DM on whatever social media platform. And there's Terry Black's beef ribs on me that I'd love to help any driver out. I've got a place right by where I live where you can actually park for free where I parked when I came home and stuff. So definitely shout out Texas always number one. And that's where you started driving from. So you got your CDL up in Dallas Fort Worth area, and that's still home base.
Well, so that's home base now. So I got my CDL. I'm from the Mississippi area. So I've been in Dallas now for going on 6 years. And but yeah, so I got my CDL starting in Mississippi.
Oh, okay, awesome. So you ended up trucking actually allowed you to make a move from Mississippi to Texas.
Yes,
You said you started out flatbed. Who was your first company?
Maverick,
Oh,
and
that,
they were. I liked them. I still like them, honestly. I said if I ever just wanted to go back to my very first company, I would be willing to go back to Maverick. It was a pretty cool company.
Yeah, I always like to ask drivers the first company they're with. I know a lot of the viewers who tune in on Instagram and some of our Instagram followers. We get a lot of messages from newer drivers who ask about the industry, especially because
Hmm.
parking can always be an issue for anybody and first couple months driving. And so, kind of knowing and there's people who are interested in driving. I just got a text message last week from a gentleman who was talking about he's interested in getting into the industry and was he's looking at Truck Parking Club for a little bit of this kind of advice, knowing that drivers work at the company. But the Maverick is a good outfit. On the, I still do my podcast show, the Lombard Trucking Show, which we definitely should record one on there. And I had a gentleman, a YouTuber, his name's Truckin with Tay, and he drove for Maverick for several
Yeah, I've heard of
years.
him.
Yeah, and so I haven't heard of
Hmm.
bad stuff about it, especially when it comes to getting your CDL. So if you're a driver out there listening, or maybe you're looking to gain flatbed experience, you heard it right. You heard it right here from Rich, and you're hearing it from myself. Is that Maverick could be the outfit for you? But that's so you went to Maverick, then you did some LTL, and then but now you got your own truck. So what made you want to get your own truck?
I mean, definitely, wanted to have my own business. Wanted to start getting into multiple streams of income. Um, so getting my own truck was start. Um, and me and my brother are in business together. So together we have three trucks. This mine.
Oh, looks like Rich cut out on us for a few moments. We'll wait for him to jump back into the studio. But for now, you guys tuning in live, join the conversation, jump on in. If you got any questions, feel free to lay them out into the chat. Just sending him a message right there. But anyways, so the reason why Rich is on the platform is, again, Rich is one of our partners. He works with us. He's a content creator. He's a business owner. And if you're looking for more information on how you can partner with Truck Parking Club, go to www.truckparkingclub.com/partner-program to check out more, or feel free to find me on the internet at Lombard Trucking anywhere. Shoot me a message and we'd love to bring you on board. And I think I've got Rich back on the line right about now. There he is. He's back.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry about that. Like I said, my service is horrible out here.
Yeah, no worries, man. So yeah, what you decided to get last I you checked in, you said you kind of wanted to get into your own truck because you wanted to start a business, and you're in business with your brother.
Yes, yes. So we wanted, or I wanted to have multiple streams of income. Of course, he does too, because he has his regular job as well. So like I said, we invested in trucks, and we're wanting to eventually invest in truck parking as well, which is why that was kind of my main thing with speaking to you at Matt's. Um, Definitely just to find out about the company, but also um, to have that partner for whenever we are able to get, our own land and an area where we can um, have some truck parking as well. So
Yep,
that's kind of a thing
absolutely.
we want to do.
Well, I mean, I could tell you a lot, and for any of our, for anybody who's tuning into this live, I mean, several. I mean, I'd say a huge chunk of properties on the Truck Parking Club platform. Which, if you guys haven't downloaded the app yet, if you're watching live, go to truckparkingclub.com, download the app, and you can get $20 off your next booking by using that promo code at the bottom of the screen. But I mean, trucking companies are themselves property members of the Truck Parking Club platform. And I think, and it's like when they realize that, because before Truck Parking Club, there's really no way, if you owned a trucking company and you had your own property, and like say you had extra space, the idea of having it be public truck parking wouldn't make sense because marketing it would be very difficult. Like
Hmm.
whether it be getting yourself on Trucker Path or whatever it is, like marketing it would kind of be, it may not work, but now it makes sense. And again, we've just crossed over 2,900 properties. So when that day comes, when you and your business is looking to expand into getting it, we're looking forward to having you as a property member as well. So you guys are up to 3 trucks now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And so both you and your brother drive, and then you've got a third driver. What are you guys mainly hauling?
Well, my brother does not drive. My brother is he's a regional manager at the rail yard. Um, so two trucks. I drive one truck, and then we have another driver that's at the same company we're leased to. And our third truck, we got to do a little bit more work to it before we get it back on the road. Um, so that one is down at the moment, but by the end of the year, we'll have it going back. We're pretty much gonna have to put a new motor in it, honestly. But we're hauling general freight, um, some hazmat and stuff every now and then as well.
Awesome. Are you guys leased on with Landstar?
No, it's a company called RDX out of Memphis.
Oh, good stuff. No, I mean, for anybody watching, I mean, I'm not sure. Like, we've had a couple leased on owner operators on the Clubhouse before. So I mean, you never know. I mean, it's been a tough market for anybody, and some people are kind of either sitting on their authority or doing whatever. So I mean, is this? I'm assuming this is an outfit you would recommend an owner operator. Hey, if you're looking for work, these guys will keep you moving.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty good. Like I said, especially as long as you have your hazmat. You don't have to have your hazmat or your tanker. You can just come with just your CDL. It just makes it a lot easier for them because they have a lot of hazmat contacts. Um, but yeah, they do real good, and they're a company that helps you if you have maintenance issues. So if your truck goes down, um, and you just don't want to pay it out of pocket, they'll take care of it, and just work out a payment plan with you. If it's a big bill, then it's like they take like $1,000 a week or something like that, depending on how much you make. They're never going to leave you with no money. So if anything, if you didn't make much that week, they're not going to take anything but fuel. And so they work with you, and I like that. Rather, other companies, they might not work with you. They're gonna get their money regardless.
No, it's good to know. So that's RDX out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing how you're able to grow the business. Now, speaking of running a business, saving time, money, fuel efficiency, I got to ask you. So when was the first time you had heard of Truck Parking Club?
So when me and my brother were thinking about when we first started thinking about um, getting parking, um, which of course everyone's always like I'll market it myself, but I was like, just in case, like, let's find someone who does help. And I started searching, and I don't remember exactly where I found you all at, and it may have been Facebook. Um, but I did find y'all. I kind of researched a little bit, and then I ended up going to my first truck show, which was Max, and y'all were there. So I was like, let me talk to him, and go ahead and kind of get in the door. And so that was my first. I guess you could say my first official time was when I met you, because I looked at it a little bit before, but not deep.
No, that's awesome, man. Hey, that's why we go to the shows. I mean, it's like if we're going to be who we say we're going to be, which is, to be the marketplace that helps drivers save time, money, and fuel by instantly reserving truck parking across the country, then we got to be where the drivers are at, which and a lot of times is these shows, and those shows give us opportunities to find entrepreneurs such as yourself that we can work with and build relationships with and help you out, whether it's parking or whether it's getting on the or whether it's becoming a property member. And to anybody, if there's any owner operators, truck companies who are watching the live stream right now, or you listen to this after the fact, I mean, give our property team a call. They'd love to work with you and at least have that conversation. But yes, since you've been out there driving, I mean, any recent locations of ours that you stayed at that have kind of either come in handy for you, or yeah, what's been your overall experience if you've needed us?
Yes, I've used 3 times since May. Yeah, since because that was in May. Yes. So since then, I can't remember the first time where that's at, but when I grew up in New Jersey, I had to use you all. Of course, the park in New Jersey is horrible. Um, but that came in handy, and nice, really, really nice lot. Gated, had a keypad for the code, cameras all around it. It wasn't a huge lot, but it was a nice size lot. It was well taken care of. And then the last time I used y'all was for Joplin, the G-Met Truck Show, and um, I had to use y'all from Wednesday to Saturday. So that really came in handy.
Oh, looks like you cut out on us again. If anybody's from Wildwood, Florida, you got to let us know if if the cell phone service is tough out there. It seems that we've run into the issue. But yes, once again, we were at the G-Bats Truck Show up in Joplin, Missouri recently. So if you were there, drop a comment in the section. Let us know how you liked the show, how you enjoyed it. If you were able to go see some of the Chrome and have some good time as we work to get Rich back on here. Number one, big shout out to Everyday Ray. Thanks for tuning into the Clubhouse on this beautiful Monday afternoon, wherever you're at. And yeah, wherever you're at, if you're tuning in live, drop a comment on where you're tuning in from. Would love to know where you guys are at, what you guys are up to this week. Feel free to let us know where you're headed. And we got Rich back. There he is. He's back. Do we got you?
Is it working?
There he is.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
I can see if you can. I just see myself here.
There we go. All right, so picking back up kind of where we left off, you had broken up a little bit, but then you mentioned you were up in New Jersey. How's your sound?
Okay, there we go.
There we go. All right, so yeah, before you had cut out, you were kind of breaking up a little bit, but let's see. So go back. So when were some recent times you had used this? I know you mentioned New Jersey, but before that, yeah, what were some times? What were some of the locations you had stayed at?
So I don't remember my very first location. My second was New Jersey. Like I said, that was a real nice lot. Um, it was really really nice. Then my last time was this time for G Bats in Joplin. Um, that one I had to use from Wednesday until Saturday. Um, and that was a pretty nice lot as well, real spacious. I just had to use it for my trailer, and then, like I said, that came in handy because my truck was actually in the show, and I didn't want to park my trailer over at uh, Petro because sometimes they're a little funny about that, but that came in handy. Being able to use that lot, it was only 6 minutes down the road from the show.
Oh, that's perfect, man. That spot in New Jersey. So when you were headed up to New Jersey, did you? And I'm just curious because it's always dependent on use case or for your experience. Did you happen to only because this is kind of why the app exists, but did you either get to New Jersey? Did you pre-book that before you were on your way to New Jersey, or did you get to Jersey and and you kind of reached you were like, oh crap, I can't find parking, and you kind of went on
Hmm.
the app and found something. I always like to know whether or not because that's the thing that's what those are like the two reasons to use it. It's like, all right, I'm going to plan ahead, or you reach an oh crap moment. There's nothing. They're like everywhere's
Yeah,
full. Where can I find it?
it was definitely an oh crap moment. Um, I looked on Google Maps, which was usually it's okay for me. At that point, it was a little bit deceiving because it showed, and even the comments. I usually read the Google reviews, and even the reviews and comments were saying that you could park at that receiver on the back side. Like the front side is gated, but the back side is not. And when I got there, both sides were gated. And there was like a little shopping center right down the road, literally across the street actually. I was like, I could park here, but I was like, it's a little bit of a sketchy spot. And then I said, this my luck, police will come. So I was like, let me look at Truck Parking Club. Let's see if there's somewhere nearby. And there was literally a spot almost maybe about 10 minutes down the road. And like I said, it was a really, really nice lot. It was actually a truck stop down the road as well. I think it was a pilot, but it was real, real small. And they had already made all the spots you can make. And like I said, I went around the back, and that's where the truck parking club was. And it was just like me and maybe two or three other trucks there. But it was a really 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 nice lot, honestly.
No, good stuff, man. I mean, those are the tough parts of the country. I'm glad I was able to come in clutch. So, I mean,
Yes.
it's always a tough situation finding parking. Parking, we know, is a big issue in the industry. But I do gotta ask you, besides parking, when it comes to the trucking industry in general, whether it be, if there's one thing you can either wave a magic wand and solve it, or what do you think is the biggest issue facing the industry right now? What's an issue going on, kind of besides parking, that just either grinds your gears, or you're like, man, I wish I could solve this tomorrow.
Rates, which I think would be a lot of people's answer. Definitely rates. Rates are horrible. Every now you get some good ones, but there's, I'll say, on a scale of 1 to 10, there's 9 horrible loads and there's one good one. Um, and I wouldn't even say good. There's an okay one. They're not. When I very first started driving, especially once I got to Landstar my very first time, um, I could make some good money. And even though I was doing step deck, the money is a little bit better on step deck side, but I was making anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 gross, to where now, you know, on a step deck, you can probably still kind of get up that way, but I feel like it's probably a little bit less, 5 to 8 thousand maybe now. Um, at least that's what a lot of companies I've seen advertise. So you got some that advertise where you make the big bucks a lot more, but sometimes I feel like you got to do oversized when it comes to, flatbed and step deck to still make that good money. Um, but yeah, definitely rates. Rates is my answer to that.
So freight rates being the biggest issue. Now, if you could, and if you don't have the answer to this, that's perfectly fine. But what do you think? Like, how would you want to solve that by any chance, or what do you think is causing the rates to be what they are?
I mean, honestly, I think they're fixing it. Um, it's definitely, there's a lot of people that are taking a lot of cheap rates, in which it gives brokers and agents no reason to up the money, to up rates. It gives customers no reason to up the rates. And honestly, a lot of the times, because I used to be a satellite agent for a broker when I was at Landstar as well, and we had really really good rates, but we were doing hazmat fireworks and stuff like that. We did a lot of oversized stuff. We didn't do much on the regular side, but you have customers, especially the smaller customers, you have customers that are willing to pay those good rates, but you have brokers that are willing to cheat you out of everything as well. So it's like, it's definitely on the brokers, and it's also on the people who are taking those cheap rates as well. So it starts with the brokers though, because you can't take a cheap rate if it's not there. So the brokers are putting it out there because of course they want to get as big of a cut as they can. Um, like I said, with me when I was doing it, as an ex driver, I didn't want to do that. I mean, of course I know we got to make money, but I wasn't finna. If I got a $5,000 load, I'm not finna put it out there for 2,500. You know, um, and I feel like that's what a lot of people do, and then a lot of people go take it just because, I don't know why, honestly.
No, I'm inclined to lean towards that answer, and the LinkedIn crowd may disagree with it, but the thing is the brokers who are on LinkedIn are are for the most part, the ones who are operating with integrity and who are like building good relationships with their carriers. They view
Okay.
carriers as customers. But for like, we have to realize how big the brokerage space is, and how big cargo theft and
Hmm.
fraud is. And I think just in the grand scheme of things, just when it comes to larger brokerages, and then just people kind of operating chop shops outside of the country, with double brokering and all that stuff, and how it makes its way back to the market.
Yeah.
I just think it's too big. It's too big, because people on LinkedIn will be like, brokers aren't doing this. It's not that bad. And it's just like, you're not doing it. It's like, you as a broker,
Right.
you might not be, skimming off or trying to take fat rips, but there are other people who are, and
Hmm.
who view the job of being a broker as a purely sales job, as opposed to, it is like it. And by sales, I'm talking like, not like, because sales is really helping. It's customer service in a lot of ways. Sales is helping people, but there are some people
Hmm.
who view it purely monetarily, as opposed to thinking about longevity. And so I think that's a solid answer. But yeah, I'm hoping, we're always hoping, praying for a bounce back, for those rates to come up, especially for gentlemen such as yourself. Now, if somebody, last question for you, if you were to talk to either a brand new driver, or somebody who wants to get in the industry, what is like one piece of advice you would give them?
Uh, One Piece. Huh. There's so many. Um, Let me see. One that would stick. Um,
Or
Man,
even if you were
that's a good
talking to a new
question,
driver right
actually.
now. Yeah, no, even if, like, say I'm like about to get my CDL, I'm going through CDL school, and I'm like, and I'm asking you, hey, what's your advice? You've been doing this 8 years. What's your general advice? Like one sentence or so. It doesn't need to be maybe one piece of advice or like one tip, but like, yeah, what would be your general
Um,
advice?
I usually, whenever I do talk to new drivers or people that are going through CDL school, is I ask them what route they're trying to go, and of course, what kind of money they're trying to make. Some people, surprisingly, there are people who are like, I'm not just trying to make all the money. I want to do it, make good money. But I usually try and steer people or give them the knowledge that I did not have when I came in. Um, to try to make sure that they get to they get to the area they want to get to without having to go through all of the steps and all of the hoops that I had to go through. Um, because like I wanted to do tanker at one point, but as an owner operator, there are not many places that are going to take you if you have no tanker experience at all. You have a lot of places that will train you on some stuff, like even flatbed, but if you don't have any tanker experience, you pretty much would have to go back and be a company driver and then do it. So, I try to give people just the advice that I didn't have and just tell them be cautious, but don't be scared. Because there's a lot of people who are going to tell you, of course, trucking is not what it used to be, which it's not, but it still can be good for that person. So just, be cautious, but don't be scared. Go for it.
Good answer. Good piece of advice out there. Rich, number one, want to thank you for coming on. Glad that you found some safe parking for this evening. Definitely won't be the last time we have you on. Would love to we love to bring the guys back on and give us updates on what they're rolling in on, and as always, helping some drivers out with finding some free truck parking. And again, for those of you who are tuning in live, Rich is a gentleman who partners with us because he is an individual who wholeheartedly believes, as you could tell by listening to him for the past 34 minutes, this is a gentleman who wants to leave the industry better than he found it. That's why he's gotten into business. That's why he does what he does. And that's why he works with us. So if you are a driver, you're looking for parking today, tomorrow, this week, whenever, there's a promo code at the bottom of the screen, all caps TWR20. It'll get you $20 off your next booking. And once again, when it comes to gentlemen like Rich, who wants to leave the industry better than he found it, that's exactly what our mission here is at Truck Parking Club. We help truckers save time, fuel, and money by safely reserving truck parking all across the United States at over 2,900 locations. And we do that day in, day out. If you need any help at all, we have 24-hour customer service staffed all by former drivers. And if there's anything else you need, you can feel free to give me a holler, talk to me anytime. I'm available almost essentially 24/7 as well. But with that, that'll do it for Monday night's Truck Parking Clubhouse. We'll be back next week, next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And until then,